Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NASCAR Truck Series race slate at Michigan Super Speedway. The Truck Series is back. It's had a week off last week where we just had Cup Series and NASCAR, and now we got the Truck Series race on Michigan. We have a Xfinity Series race on Saturday at Road America, and then we have a Cup Series race on Saturday at Michigan, as well as a Cup Series race on Sunday at Michigan, and I'll be making videos for all four of those races. I also will be having content on my Patreon if you want to subscribe to that. I'll leave the description below. You're going to get this entire cheat sheet with all the stats you're going to need to know, along with projections, an article, salary rankings, and core four or cash core four. So all those things for only $10 a month for all three series. All of it combined for $10 a month. It's a pretty good deal considering how many races are every single week for all the series. So make sure you go subscribe to that as well. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on notification bells. All those things really help me grow the channel. We've had some good growth through NASCAR season as a whole all summer long, and I want to continue that. I don't want that to stop just because basketball started up. I want to keep that growing, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at DFS Nate Lane on Twitter, at NateLane_ on Instagram. I like to talk about just sports in general, fantasy sports, DFS, all that stuff I love just talking about over there. So make sure to hit me up over there, ask me questions about who to pick, I'll answer them for you. All that stuff, just go over there to help them out or to check it out. And if you are into other sports other than NASCAR, I do make NBA content that is going on right now, and NFL is starting up soon, as well as NCAA football and NCAA basketball a little bit later, and I do content for all of those sports as well, so make sure to stick around for that. I also have content for that on the Patreon, so make sure to stick around for all of that. And I think, yeah, let's get into the driver-by-driver breakdown. Priced up to the most this week is John Hunter Nemechek, as I think he should be. He is the most expensive driver for a reason. He is a Cup Series driver racing in a Truck Series. He doesn't have as great equipment as when we see Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott go down to the Truck Series, but he does still run well. In his one race at Michigan over the last 2 years, he has a third place finish. He also has the best average finish at large ovals over the last 2 years. He has the second best average position at Michigan and the second best average position at large ovals. When we come to the lap sled, he hasn't led a ton of laps in Michigan, and he hasn't really led a ton of laps this year either. In the few races he's ran, I don't think he's led any, to be honest. 91 at intermediate tracks, 91 at large ovals. So he does have the upside. He has a ton of place differential upside starting 34th. I mean, he should easily get a top 10 and even a top 5 as possible. I don't want to call him a lock or anything, but he's a pretty good play. I don't expect him to really lead any laps. I really honestly don't even think he's going to win, but I think he should be able to at least get a top 10 and probably a top 5, and he should be able to pay off that salary. It's not really, I like you know how we always see Christopher Bell get priced up in the Cup Series when he's third, starting in the dead last, the very back. I like John Hunter Nemechek more in this series than I do with Christopher Bell at that price tag. So I think Nemechek's a fine play, and he's not going to hurt you. I think if you play John Hunter Nemechek, you're going to cash in. It's just, if you're trying to win a GPP, I don't know if that's the way to go. Parker Kligerman, I'm not as interested into just because John Hunter Nemechek is there, and I think John Hunter Nemechek has way more upside. I mean, if you just, for Kligerman, I'm just going to look at this year. Last 5 races, an average position is 16.5, and an average running position is 16.5. So, he does not have the upside that John Hunter Nemechek does to finish in the top 5, and I mean, I think if Kligerman was just there by himself, it would make me interested, but I just know John Hunter Nemechek has so much more upside, I'd rather go there. Up next is Johnny Sauter. For God knows why, his price is $10,400 still. I know he starts 13th, but he again has not been good this year. I don't really care about what he's done at these type of tracks in the past few years. I care about what he's done this year. Johnny Sauter in the last 5 races has an average finish of 14.75 and an average position of 14. That's worse than his starting position. So I don't understand why he's priced so much, and I just don't want to go to him. I haven't wanted to go to him all year, and I'm going to continue to not want to go to Johnny Sauter. And here's where I think we start getting a little bit interested in drivers that start at Austin Hill at $10,100. Yeah, he only has the 9th best average finish at Michigan, but a lot of his stats from the past few years are not as good as what we want to look at. For this year, he's just been a better driver overall this year. And so he has an average finish of 3.5 in the last 5 races, an average running position of 8.4 in the last 5 races, and 84 laps led in the last 5 races. That stands out to me. It is the second most in the field behind Zane Smith for the most laps led. I do like Austin Hill. He's in a very good starting position to get out front and lead some laps pretty early. Michigan is a very hard track to pass at anyway. So I think Austin Hill has a good chance to get up front and lead laps. I mean, I like the guys in front of him. I like the starting in front of him. I like too, but I like Austin Hill more. Matt Crafton starting 4th, not someone I'm too interested in. He is coming off a win at Kansas last week, which is a large oval and an intermediate track. So similar to Michigan, where he does have the second best average finish and the third best average finish. But if we go look at this year alone, outside of last week, he just hasn't been that good. Only 27 laps led. He does have a really good average finish of 2.75. He's been finishing well, but I want someone to lead laps at that price tag, and I just think there's guys more likely to lead laps than Matt Crafton. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Matt Crafton is just going to become like elite again in the Truck Series and just start rolling off a bunch of laps led and everything. But I would place my bets on pretty much everyone else around him in that top 5 starting position to lead the laps instead of Matt Crafton. Brett Moffitt starts second. He has the second best average finish at Michigan of 2.5. And Brett Moffitt is someone I very, very much like today. The 5th best average finish at intermediates and the 7th best at large ovals, along with the 3rd best average position at Michigan, 2nd best at intermediates, and 3rd best at large ovals. When we go to the last 5 races, Brett Moffitt does only have an average finish of 10.4, which is not so great, and an average running position of 9, but he has 65 laps led, so he's been up front, clearly. Be able to get up front and lead some laps, so he is someone I'm very interested in today. I think he starts on the front row. I would not be surprised to see him lead the early portion of the laps. I mean, it's going to be between him and Chandler Smith more than likely. Maybe Ekes gets out there, but I think Brett Moffitt's as good of any pick to go with the laps led. Chandler Smith's numbers aren't going to look good because he's literally only won 1 intermediate, and which was a large oval as well, and he did not finish well. But the thing I like about Chandler Smith is he's driving number 51 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports. It is the best truck in the field by far. And Chandler Smith is a very talented driver. He gets to start on the pole as well, so I think he has the upside to lead all the laps, literally all the laps. I mean, that's a tough one to say, all the laps, but I think he could lead a majority of them. I mean, just in the fastest truck at a place that's really hard to pass, I think Chandler Smith's a really good play here. I think I don't know how many people are going to be on him. I think people are going to want to go to Ekes more. And I mean, I just like Chandler Smith just as good as anybody to lead us on a lap series. He's a fast truck. He's a good driver. And a track that's hard to pass. So track position is key, and he has the best track position in the field. So I think Chandler Smith is a very solid option here at 9,500. Christian Ekes starts 3rd at 9,300. I think is also a very good option. Only one race in Michigan where he finished 15th, but that's not really as important to me. Last 2 years, an average for the 6th best average finish at intermediate tracks and the 5th best at large ovals. 3rd best average position at intermediate tracks and 5th best at large ovals. When we come to the last 5 races, Christian Ekes has been doing very, very well with an average finish of 5.75, an average position of 6.4, and 78 laps led, which is the 3rd most in the field out of every driver. And he also drives for Kyle Busch Motorsports in number 18 truck, so his truck is very fast too. I mean, if you want to say he's the fastest truck in the field, that's fine. They're both the same equipment, so Christian Ekes, very, very good choice here as well. I think he has potential to lead a bunch of laps, and I keep saying this every single video. There's 2 drivers that keep saying it. A win is coming for him, and Christian Ekes is one of them. So I think maybe today is the day he gets to win. I mean, I think this is a track that bodes well for his skills, and he's in a fast truck, and he has a good track position to start, and I would not be surprised to see him even get around Chandler Smith and Moffitt very early and lead a bunch of laps. I do like Christian Ekes a good bit here today. Stuart Friesen starting 21st. Like, yeah, he's been good here and at these type of tracks, but Stuart Friesen is another guy I just don't like because of how he's been running this year. An average finish of 15.25 in the last 5 and an average position of 16.6. He's in the same, team, but it's different, somewhat different equipment, something with, the engines or something. I don't know really exactly what it is, but it's sort of different equipment than last year, so he's just not been as fast, and I just don't want to pay that for 9,100, especially when I can just pay down 200 less for Todd Gilliland starting 19th, who's got priced down this week, which kind of surprised me. He has the 9th best average finish at intermediates, 12th best at large ovals. He has the best average position at Michigan, 7th best at intermediates, and 8th best at large ovals. When we come over to the last 5 races, he has an average finish of 11, an average running position of 9.2, and 15 laps led. I don't really expect him to be a lap leader, but I expect him to get me some good place differential, and I think he's a good driver to. I mean, he has top 5 potential in my opinion, and I think he could hit all of that. Tyler Ankrum in his only race at Michigan did not go well, but at tracks similar to this, he's run pretty decently. I just don't expect Tyler Ankrum to really do much. He'll probably finish right around starting position. I mean, he's an average finish of 14.75 in the last 5, and an average position of 11.25 with 0 laps led. So not someone I'm overly excited to roster here. Sheldon Creed, though, I am actually very interested in. Sheldon Creed and Zane Smith are 2 of my favorite plays because they have Dominator upside and place differential upside, and they're cheaper than the guys that we talked about earlier, like Smith, Moffitt, and Ekes, and Hill. But Sheldon Creed has the best average finish at Michigan with 2nd, and the 5th best average position at Michigan. But if you come and that was when Sheldon Creed wasn't really good. Sheldon Creed's been really good this year, and in the past he hasn't been. And this is a track he's still excelled at. So he has an average finish of 10.8 in his last 5, and an average running position of 6.75, which I think shows more that he's been running well, and the finishes maybe haven't been there. And he has 76 laps led in the last 5 races, which is the 4th most in the field. So I think Sheldon Creed is in a very good spot to succeed here. He has some place differential upside. I mean, he's not going to lead the very early portion or the early stage, but he has a good pit stop. He could be up there by the next stage and lead a bunch of laps, I think he's a good option to lead a ton of laps in this race. And then Zane Smith's the other driver. I keep saying he's got a win coming for him, man. Dude's just fast. Best average finish at intermediates, second best at large ovals, best average position at intermediates, best at large ovals. He's just so good. He is my pick to win, to be completely honest. He has only an average finish of 9 in the last 5 races, and an average position of 6.4, which is tied for the best in the field with Ekes, and 111 laps led in the last 5 races, which is the most in the field. So Zane Smith has been running really well, and a lot of these tracks recently are pretty much very similar to Michigan. So I think Zane Smith is in a very good spot here to get some place differential upside, lead some laps, and maybe even win the race. One of my favorite plays, if not my favorite play on the slate. Probably my top, I guess, dominator if you want to call him, although he's not like a stud like on NBA where we talk about the stud being super price of super high. Like, he's not even that expensive. Like, you can fit Zane Smith and Chandler Smith, or Zane Smith and Christian Ekes, or Zane Smith and Austin Hill, and just about any lineup and be fine. Up next we have Jeb Burton starting 15th, and it's just someone I'm not too interested in. If we look at his races this year, he hasn't raced in the last 5 races, so never mind. But he hasn't been running like particularly well. I mean, I just expect him to finish around where he starts. He was starting in the 20s. That'd be where I expect him to finish. But he has the 14th best average finish at intermediates, the 16th best at large ovals, only the 22nd best average position at intermediates, and the 22nd best at large ovals. So yeah, Burton isn't like someone I'm just expecting to like just do really, really well here. He'll probably have a solid race. He's not in like an elite truck. But, I mean, he's probably won't hurt you or anything, but I just don't think the upside's really there for Jeb Burton. Ben Rhodes, though, I do like a decent bit. Starts 10th today. He has some upside. He has the 8th best average finish at intermediates, 6th best at large ovals, 5th best average position at intermediates, and 7th best at large ovals. When we come to the last 5 races, he has an average finish of 5.6, an average running position of 9th, and 11 laps led. So Rhodes, I think, has like top 5 upside, and I mean, that's sneaky there, and he could even get into the laps led, and he finishes like second. He might end up being in the optimal, and I don't expect Ben Rhodes to be too highly owned. I mean, because I think people would just rather pay up for Zane Smith or Sheldon Creed, which I don't blame him, but if you're going to get him at low ownership, you might be someone to take a shot on to see if he can hit that upside. Grant Enfinger starts 6th. He has the 4th best average finish at Michigan, 3rd best at intermediates, 4th best at large ovals. He has the 4th best average position at Michigan, 6th best at intermediates, 6th best at large ovals. In the last 5 races, Grant Enfinger has an average finish of 7.4, an average position of 10.8, and 0 laps led. And that's the problem with me with Enfinger. I just don't think he has anywhere to go but down, honestly. I mean, maybe he gets a top 5, but that's really capping his upside more than likely. I mean, we've seen his 2 wins, one coming at Daytona, and the other one, he didn't really lead any laps, but like the last 2 on a green-white checker finish. So Enfinger's really not someone who's like going to be a lap leader. I think he has upside to finish in the top 5 and maybe even the top 3, but he's just not someone I'm really like banking on this week. Derek Kraus starts 9th, and I've loved playing Derek Kraus all year, but this is where it stops. In the last 5 races, Derek Kraus has an average finish of 8.2 and an average position of 10.6. So really nowhere for him to go up, in my opinion. He's not going to get top 5, I don't think. And so I just don't see the upside for him to go anywhere. Tanner Gray starts 16th. I think Tanner Gray is decently interesting. Some of these plays down here are kind of tough, in my opinion, this week. But I think Tanner Gray is one that has at least some upside. He has the 13th best average finish at intermediates and the 14th best at large ovals, 18th best average position at intermediates and 17th best at large ovals. In the last 5 races, he has an average finish of 10.75, an average position of 14.5, and 3 laps led. So yeah, Tanner Gray, I could see him getting a top 10, but more than likely he's probably like a top 12. And I mean, we just need guys at this point down here that are probably just going to finish decently. And I think Tanner Gray is someone like that. Like, he's not an exciting play. He doesn't really have a ton of upside, but he's a decent play that probably won't hurt you unless he crashes out. Raphael Saadi, 7,400, starts 11th. Dude's been a letdown this year. He's also driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports in number 4 truck. He has the 17th best average finish at intermediates, 18th best at large ovals, 14th best average position at intermediates, 15th best at large ovals. When we come to the last 5 races, he had an average position of 13 and average finish of 13 and average position of 12.25. So I just don't see a lot of upside for Raphael Saadi. So every video I make, say this about Raphael Saadi too. He's in a really, really fast truck, like one of the top 5 fastest trucks in the entire field. So that upside's there, and he always seems to look really fast on restarts, and it just sort of falls back. So if we get like a green-white checker at the end of it, like, let's paint a scenario where Raphael Saadi's in like 8th place on a green-white checkered finish, like he could end up in 4th, and I would not be shocked. And then he's really killing that salary, and it's someone who's probably not going to be highly owned. So if you're making a ton of GPP lines, Raphael Saadi's always someone I try to find my way to because I know he has the upside. I don't think he's hit it once all year, but I know it's there because of that truck he's in, and I would not be shocked ever to see him hit that upside. Jordan Anderson starts 24th, and this has actually been a pretty good track for him. The 11th best average finish at Michigan, and the 13th best average position at Michigan. The problem for me with Jordan Anderson is he's been bad this year. Average finish of 22.8 in the last 5, and an average position of 24.4. I don't think he's terrible. I think he's one that's worth a shot just because he has been good at these tracks, but he just has not been fast this year at all. Clay Greenfield, never play Clay Greenfield. I don't get why DraftKings makes him so expensive. He should be in the 5K range. He's bad. He's not. He's going to finish in the 30s. I mean, if you really want me to prove it for you, I got you. Average finish of 27.2 in the last 5 races. Like, he's not going up anywhere. And honestly, that surprises me that it's that high. Brennan Poole starts 17th, $7,000 on DraftKings. He has the 18th best average finish at intermediates and the 13th best at large ovals, 19th best average position at intermediates, and 19th best at large ovals. And then we get an average finish of 13.66 in the last 5, and an average position of 17.25 as well. So I think he's a decent play. He's someone like Tanner Gray, who I think could maybe somehow get in the top 10, but probably a top 15 is in the cards for him. And just not an exciting play, but someone who's not going to hurt you and someone who might get the job done for you. Ryan Truex starts 20th. I'm really not interested in playing Ryan Truex at 6,800. He's going to be low-owned. No one ever plays Ryan Truex, but it's for a good reason. Average finish of 20th, average position of 21 in the last 5 races. Ty Majeski starting 18th at 6,700 is interesting for me, though. He has an average position the 19th best average finish at intermediates, 20th best at large ovals, 17th best average position, 18th best at large ovals. In the last 5 races, he has an average position of 18.75, an average position of 16.5. So you can go up a little bit. Again, someone who might get you a top 15 at 6,700. So I mean, I think if you're getting down here, you're just trying to get guys that can finish well, and I think Ty Majeski is one of those. David Gravel or however you say his name. He's driving for GMS Racing this week. I don't have any data on David Gravel. I believe it's his first ever truck race, or at least it is on one of these type of tracks. So I'm not really too excited because I don't want to go to someone who's never raced in one of these races before starting 12th. So if he was starting in the back, yeah, he's in a good truck. But I mean, maybe this guy's going to be like the next like Kyle Busch or something, and I have no idea. But I don't expect that to be the thing. And if you want to take a shot on him in a GBP, I understand it, but still not someone I really want to get to. Up next is Corey Roper at 6,300, starting 28th. And Corey Roper's an interesting one, I think, to take a shot on, in my opinion. Average finish 24.2 in the last 5, average position of 24, which is better than you're going to get for them, honestly. He has at least a decent bit of upside. Tate Fogelman is another one. I think Tate Fogelman, Roper, and Austin Wayne Self are all at least decently interesting. Fogelman 6,200, starting 25th. He does have a 15th place finish at Michigan in the past, so that is encouraging. An average finish of 20th in the last 5, and an average position of 23rd in the last 5. Oof, I did not mean to do that. So, yeah, if he can crack that top 20, I mean, you're just trying to get some at least decent plays at this point. Austin Wayne Self starts 27th. He actually has an 8th place finish at Michigan the last 2 years, so that's good. That's encouraging. I think Austin Wayne Self might actually be a really good play here. In the last 5 races, he has an average finish of like 16th or something like that, right? Yep, 16th, and an average position of 18.25. So I think that's fine. That's better than a lot of the guys you're going to get, honestly. And a lot of these guys at the very bottom, I'm pretty much done talking about after 2 more. Like, I'm not playing any of these fools. Trey Hutchins starting 39th, I think, is okay. In his 1 race this year, he did finish dead last, so that's not fun. But he has a 24th place finish at Michigan. Average finish of 26 at intermediates, average position at an average finish of 26 at large ovals. It's not great, but he starts 39th. That's some place differential upside if he gets to 26. But I could also see him maybe finishing dead last again. So he's probably not someone I really want to go to, but again, if I'm making a ton of lines in GPPs, he is. And then Dawson Cram starts 38th. Cram's last 5 races, an average finish of 26.5 and an average position of 29. So I think he's got some place differential upside there, and that's about as much as you can get. Spencer Boyd starting 31st. Last 5 races, average finish of 25, average position of 27.8. So those guys are all fine. If you can avoid not getting to like those 3, and you can just get away with Austin Wayne Self, I would do that. Try to get to that as much as possible. But if you have to, I think they're okay and they're not going to hurt you. And maybe they hit upside, but I mean, if there's a bunch of wrecks and they avoid them, but other than that, they're probably not going to. Norm Benning, don't ever play him. Don't ever play Ray Cicerelli, especially Jesse Iwuji starting 23rd. Cody Rohrbach starting 26th. I definitely don't do that. Tyler Hill at 30th, maybe. In his last 5 races, he has an average finish of 21.66 and an average position of 24. He's like the punt of all punts, and I think maybe he gets you there, but still just not someone I'm too excited. Never played Jennifer Jo Cobb, never played Josh Ramey, never played Tim Vaines. There's just guys in the Truck Series that are just like, don't ever play them. They're not going to do anything for you. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this Truck Series slate. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Got some good information. Got some good content. I'm gonna go play some DraftKings tonight for it. Maybe make some money. Hope you guys all enjoyed that, and hope you guys got a lot out of this. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, leave a comment. Go subscribe to my Patreon if you want to. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All those things really help me out grow this channel and help me grow as a business too. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and hope you guys win some money tonight.